All right, Nancy's going to start talking a little bit about the other thing that we stumbled into regarding SimplyThick. Both the new formula and the old formula work the same way regarding pureeing food.
Yeah, loving it. People eat with their eyes, right? I mean, what is worse than I walk in all the time and see pureed food in 3 separate bowls, the meat, the starch, and the vegetable, and they're all pale beige, and you just want to, you feel terrible for the patients or the residents. And I'm sure that's not the best we can do, and when I visit the food service departments and they tell me there's just no time, there is enough time to take to scoop all of that. It's so easy. If you get our process down pat, it is not hard using the silicone molds, and that is an example of, I would say, a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 of what you can do for eye appeal. You can maintain the nutritional value without adding a lot of color and additives and any kind of, products, keeping it clean. It's very simple.
The residents are getting what everybody else is getting, and that's
Right.
a big state issue,
Right.
at least in Arizona.
Yeah, oh, it is.
Everybody's supposed to receive the same food.
Equal
So
value.
the resident who's getting the pureed carrots and it's piped on the plate, same carrots that their table mates are getting.
Absolutely right.
Everything.
And I made these in my kitchen. I just thickened chicken broth to pudding thick level or extremely thick and used 1 ounce per 3 ounces of meat. Paul has his, the beverage side, let me say, the beverage side is a science. 4 ounces to 1 packet or 1 pump, it's very prescriptive. The food side is a little more artistic. So Paul has recently been playing around with honey thick and raw product, not even dissolving it at all, using it just raw. So there's different ways to do it. I'm not going to give you a cookbook recipe. I was just saying that we're all learning and doing it different ways.
I heard artistic.
Yes. Here comes the artist. And it's really, it's just a beautiful thing. When you hit your sweet spot when you're using it in the Cuisinart or the food processor, and you get that
This was the palm of my hand that undid the beautiful shape I had to the green beans.
We'll forgive you, but it's very malleable, mashable, and so this can easily be used or produced by just taking a baggie, a Ziploc, and trimming off the corner and just extruding the carrots. And I think Paul did that same thing with his green beans until he smashed them. But we have molds as well of all kinds of foods. Peas, that's what you see in the picture. There's sausage, there's chicken, there's beef, there's a generic 3 ounce portion of meat. There's all kinds of things that you can do. I even took on my
Fish or chicken strips?
on that picture, I used some of the leftover pureed peas and made the little stems at the end of the carrot. That's a little bit extreme, but it is fun, and you can get as creative as you want to be. That's the beauty of it. So
you're going into these hospitals and basically training?
teaching, yes, we are doing that. We're trying to show them that there is great cost savings.
Would you put some of this up to the camera for the people? Is it?
That's a Frankfurter. And those are peas going around in the green. That's a 3 ounce chicken breast.
Slice of bread.
Come on.
No, we don't. I don't personally have bread molds. Do you, Paul?
I do not.
This is sliced meat.
Where is
Is
that?
there a different way to make the bread? Is it cool?
Bread we can do a couple different ways. You can slurry. You can take a sliced bread, cut off the crusts, thicken SimplyThick to honey thick, and just with water, and put that on the bread and give it 5 minutes, and that will do it all by itself. Or you can trim the bread, crumble it, and break it down the way we're fixing to do the other, and then put it in a mold.
Yeah.
Bread is one of the, as you know, that's a wonder.
It's a big deal.
Same thing with green salads. It's like we could puree a green salad, but then we turn, a nice 4 or 5 ounce salad into 1 tablespoon. Because there's no air, there's no structure left, right?
Yeah.
So it can be done, but are we getting where we really need it to get? Nutritionally, yes. Appearance and presentation, not so much.
Jim, do you want me to hold up the plate that he put on the table? Are you able to get a picture of that?
You said we'll see.
Okay.
You asked about, are we teaching people? Yes, we do. We routinely, if they're open-minded to do that. Some people use the pre-molded foods, which are beautiful as well, but there's a cost to that. And this drills it down, cuts costs down. You just put a little labor into it. Once people know and have the tools, it's very, very easy. Paul's gonna show you how we do it. But the red dots that you see, that was just a little bit of pureed fruit. That was a red guava, and I just popped it on a plate for color. And you could tint applesauce, you could do all kinds of things. You know, the sky's the limit to the creativity.
That was in the oven. Okay, so the sample that Eugenie was just touching and Jim grabbed, we're gonna puree that chicken. Okay, but the example in his hand was from a month or so ago. I pureed it for another show, I had extra portions, took them out of the molds, put them in the freezer, all right? Wrapped them in saran. Tonight, I put them on the plate, wrapped it in saran, put it in foil, put it in a 225-degree oven for 30 to 40 minutes. And we didn't temp it when it came out, but having done this in my house a number of times, we're gonna get a temp right at 165 degrees in that 225-degree oven for right at 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
The beauty of that is, okay, now we've got to be careful on the edges with puree, and that's probably what we were checking on. And that's why I put a little bit of moisture under that before I even put it in to the oven. The point is, if we had thickened this with a starch thickener and then froze it, as soon as I started coming back, right, it's gonna weep, I'm gonna lose that moisture, and essentially I have to start it over to get it back into the shape, and I lose the efficiency of having put it in a mold in the first place. I'm not saying it's perfect, what I'm saying is it can give you options for doing the puree recipe in the first place, and because we can freeze it and bring it back, we've also got some operational efficiencies. In a nursing home, for example, we finished tray line. I've got 4 portions of chicken left. If I just refrigerate them, I've got 72 hours or 24 hours to use those leftovers depending on what it is and where it came from. But if I can puree it, put it in the freezer, the clock doesn't stop essentially until I bring it back out of that freezer. So now those 3 portions of chicken, when chicken's not on the menu for another 5 days, now at least I can do something with it. So I reduce a little bit of food wastage, and that's something I can do at a non-peak time in the kitchen as well. So at 2 o'clock when tray line's over, puree the leftovers, put them in the freezer. Yeah, so I've got things going at off-peak times.
So we've got a margarita with chicken fajitas here. That's as Tex-Mex as you can get. The temperature is beautiful. It's 150. And
Is it 150
it's still
now?
moving.
Right, and it's,
Yeah. So for us foodies that worry about food safety, it is possible to do it all, keep it safe. It's a beautiful thing.
Actually, Paul, I was gonna taste it.
You want to taste it?
you're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Were you being funny?
I don't
No,
have
no,
a
no, no.
spare fork.
It's one of my things.
Good for you.
When I had interns, I would,
Right.
They have.
Practice what you
I
preach.
made them
Yeah.
eat it because
Good.
I had an experience in my internship.
This
So
tastes like carrots. I don't eat a lot of vegetables.
that's why I don't like kids.
I am amazed at the amount of both RDs and speech paths that, because of the current situation of people not using hydrated gels and they're so adverse themselves to the starch thickeners, I'll ask them to taste and, oh no, I'm not gonna taste that stuff. Oh my God. You know, if we're practicing this and we're asking people to drink this product, we should be able to tolerate it ourselves. And if we can't, that's telling me that it's time to get a new product, you know?